All right. Well, so we are very pleased to have you all here to welcome the student panel to discuss your experiences and advice for submitting and presenting at the American Evaluation Association conference. Our presenters will share lessons that they learned from their journey to AEA 2025, including teamwork, proposal design, poster development, and effective conference presentation techniques. Our presenters are Ana Vasquez-Quino, a PhD student in EMR. She's also an economist with over 10 years of professional experience working domestically and internationally in the public sector in areas of development, finance, banking, and academia. We have Mahamat Abdullah Karim, whom I know as Taha, PhD student in EMR. Originally from Chad, his background is in business administration and international development administration. He has extensive experience in finance and development across national and international development administration. And Rohula Wahidi is a PhD candidate in education and human development, specializing in workforce education and development, but he also completed his certificate in mixed methods research through the EMR program. With over a decade of national and international experience in workforce education and training, he is currently the program director for economic development and refugee transportation services at a refugee resettlement organization. So I'm going to turn it over to all of you now, and thank you again for being here.
Well, thank you everyone for being here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we can start the presentation. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. I don't know if everyone can see it. Okay, so we've just been presented. So our presentation is going to center around how to prepare and submit, and present at the AEA. So I'm going to start by sort of giving an introduction of the AEA and, we'll go from there. So the first point that I want to touch is what we will explore overall for in this presentation. So what we'll explore would be what is AEA, what is stakes and why they matter, how to prepare a strong proposal, word limits and requirement for AEA submissions, how IRB kind of differs in AEA submissions and strategies for first-time student presenters. EMR participation in the 2025. So we did participate, so we might share some of our experiences as well for this year. So what is AEA? So the American Evaluation Association was created in '86 and is a professional association that supports people who study and improve programs. It sets standards for fair and accurate evaluation work. It builds training that helps members strengthen their methods. It holds also events where evaluators share results, tools, and lessons. It creates a community across education, nonprofit groups, public agencies, consulting firms, health programs, global projects, and so forth. So it promotes learning so evaluators use evidence in their decision making. So why does AEA matters to students and faculty? So I'm going to discuss briefly on each of the points here. The first point I'm going to address is national level visibility for your work. So when you join AEA, your work reaches people across the country. So your ideas are no longer to stay within your campus or your local program. So they enter into a national space where evaluators from many sectors look at your project and can learn from it. So this kind of helps show you the value of your design, analysis, research, and results in a clear and public way. So it helps you see the work can fit in a larger conversation in the field. So national visibility also builds your confidence, and it shows you that your project holds real interest outside your school, and it pushes you to think with a wider lens, exposes you feedback from people who work in evaluation each and every day. So when you present, mostly people will give you feedback, and this feedback helps you sharpen like the message that you're trying to get across and improve your future research. The second point is learning from real world experience and case studies. So you gain access to cases drawn from real life examples. So these cases show teams responding to like some of the problems they face in the field, like shifting goals and urgent decisions, how data can look when gathered in real settings, and you learn how evaluators handle missing data, low response rate, and unclear outcomes. So this sort of like turns the theory into practice, and it helps you think with more precision. So you also learn the lesson that teams bring forward. Many sessions sort of include honest stories about challenges and missteps. Hearing these stories would actually help you prepare for your own project, and sort of helps you also avoid making the same mistakes. So you learn to stay focused on your question even when your evaluation is not moving in the direction that you want. And the third point that I'm going to address is networking with evaluation professionals. So the association brings you into contact with people who do evaluation work in many settings. So could be from youth program, health program, as I mentioned before. So they design survey, they build logic model, they present the results. So when you speak with them, you get a clear view of notes in the field. You learn what skills matters in real jobs and what teams look for in new staff. So networking also helps you build long-term contacts. So these contacts can lead to research supports, internship, and job leads. So they help you understand how the field moves and where new work appears. So over time, this relationship becomes a support system that guides your growth as an evaluator. There's also opportunity to present your poster, panel, discussion, or demonstration. So the association also gives you many ways to share your work, and each format builds different skills. So panels, for example, build teamwork and structured speaking, and then they can build clear step-by-step communication. So depending on your targeted goal, these sort of like format of presentation can help. And professional growth and development. So as we all take part in this association, we spend our skills. You hear methods that have not been used yet, like novel methods. You listen to people who solve problem with limited time, or like tight budget. You learn how teams make sense of data that shift over time. This helps become more flexible and steady whenever you're doing an evaluation. So growth also comes from hearing how others approach similar challenges. You learn new ways to frame questions. You learn how to check assumptions. You learn how to explain results more clearly. And the next point that I'm going to address is the last point: strong addition to academic and professional resumes. So as students, we are all looking for things to add for our resumes, the experiences we got, everything that we worked for. So going to these presentations is actually a great tool, and it can help to add in resume. So that would be helpful later on. So I'm going to move on to the annual conference overview. So the AEA brings together a large community of evaluators each year. I think, if I'm not mistaken, last year it was around 1,300. I don't know the exact number for this year, but it draws people from many sectors who want to share their work and learn from others. The size of the events creates many chances to see those ideas and how the field, how there is like new knowledge, and this new knowledge is shifting the field. So the reach of the conference also gives you a space to place your own work in larger contexts. And it includes also hundreds of sessions where evaluators share methods, results, tools, and lesson learned. And participants come from universities, nonprofit, foundation, and government organization. So this sort of like just the annual overview of the AEA. So the next part that I'm going to cover is the conference theme. So each year, the conference have their own sort of theme, and this year's theme kind of centers around engaging community, sharing leadership. So it has three different pillars: transforming evaluation. So this call for like take power differences, historical harm seriously, and then it sort of asks us to look where the current system and who carries the burden. It guides questions, assumptions, and center equity and engaging communities, as I've stated before, and sharing leadership. This is the most important part because you see a lot of leaders in AEA and you get to connect with them. You get to learn from what they do. You're going to they're going to give you advice on how, for example, if you're a leader in an organization, how to approach things, how to do certain things that they emphasize collaboration, they support shared knowledge, they encourage like inclusive conversation that can lead to more meaningful actions. So I will pass to my colleague Anna next to sort of talk to you about the presentation formats.
Okay, thank you everyone for being with us today. Actually, the main idea here is how to help to the students to try to get writing proposals for do the presentation in the American Evaluation Association conference. So for that reason, we create this a little presentation here, and this one is more informative. For example, here I am talking about how different formats have that conference. For example, if you want to present, you have the options for do that. There are three different options like full section type, individual type, or pre-conference workshop. Is more for development that, development professional that. Actually, I want to mention the conference is start usually, the Monday to Friday, but the first 2 days we had to pay extra for do development workshop because it's more for education and learning things. And the on Wednesday usually I start, with the conference for the general public. For to say that we had to pay the fee. After that, we had to share all the experience like the practitioners they had. For that reason, in that specific, days, we had the opportunity, like the students, to share all our job.
I think we lost Anna.
Oh, we lost Anna?
Yeah, she said she did have some tech difficulties. I don't know if that was.
So should we wait for a little bit so she might come back, or see if she will be able to reconnect? Oh,
So probably I could continue my
okay.
presentation before she comes in. I'm not sure if she has issues with the internet. But anyways, yeah, so thank you both for introduction and talking about the AEA. So in this part of the presentation, it's talking about the workshop itself, like registering for the workshop and understanding the the areas of the workshop and particularly the ticks, which is in the next slides. and the specific topic areas grouped by the AEA itself. And if you please go to next slide, Taha. Yeah. And the topic of interest groups is, very common for most conferences. So AEA also does that, like putting interest topics into specific groups so that based on your area of evaluation and projects that you have been involved, you get to know which takes your work is mostly relevant to. And the tips would be when you are applying for sending your application for the AEA, you need to make sure that you're choosing the take which is the most relevant. And as you know, some of the examples of the takes are listed here. And one of the other ideas of why you have to choose the ticks very carefully is that because there are people who are very much related or who have shared interest areas or research areas or work areas that you get to meet them and you get to build networks and connect with them, and then they might turn out to be your connections after the conference as well. So an idea of why takes are important, because as folks send applications to the conference, they decide on the relevancy of your proposal to the text that you are suggesting, and that helps the conference organizers to put the proposal in applications, group them together. And like I said earlier, so the ticks also help you understand, which ideas you're going to be presenting, and that would help the attendants, the participants know more about your topic. So I think Anna is back. I would like to shift back to Anna. Sorry, taking your.
So sorry, this is a really disaster. I was speaking, and then I realized, I am no connect. But anyway, so here is a leader's, a leader's tips we can to share with all the students how to choose the right tip, the topical for the presentations. So the very good idea first is to read the description. Everything the information is in the American Evaluation Association website. That's a good idea for a start or proposal. The next thing is matching your topic with this specific topical in group, because that's very important, because they had to be the alignment. The another thing is I'd recommend is like try to look at the information on the previous conference program examples. It is very helpful for us to do that. The another important is you had a question, please ask to the professors, the Dr. Gary and the Dr. Michael Hart. All the time they are open to share the experience and to help to us. Had to be, very, very careful with that, because we had to be alignment everything to try to get the application to be a SEC. Next, please. Okay, so here we put exactly what is the requirement. This one is actually, the official things in 2025, how the proposal had to be. For example, they had limiting words. We had to, the category, the proposal, we had to be the information like presenters and the role. We had to do the specific, like previously I mentioned, the topic interest group, that the proposal extra as well is very limiting the words, relevant statement, session information. And that way we had like, they will ask for select is our presentation or participation we want to achieve had to be in the to match with the guidance principle and with the competence the American Evaluation Association. this is, for individual presentation, but for the others, they had a more requirement. Please. For example, here, and if you want to do like in group presentation, like a session, like I mentioned, like a panel, we had to do, the description had to be more deeper for each participant. Will do that. For the requirement for the workshop, that's very specific and different, because here the most characteristic here is we had to put or to guide in the very strong way the learning objective, because this one is supposed we are delivering information or new information our audience. What is the other things we are talking about? How to build the components a strong proposal. First of all, the door we had we recommend all the persons to clear the problem or need very clear. In your mind had to be very, very clear what you want to present. The purpose of the session, you have to think it about, like, will be, what will be like the description, what will be my audience, what they will learn from that, what is my engagement for that, how will connect this, this proposal, that idea I have with the American Association thing. That's very specific, because you have to match most as soon as you can. The another thing is all the professors recommend is to be simpler, concise, and very clear the structure that. Had to write the strong title. The title had to be not 100 words, had to be short and very specific, easy to understand everyone. Focusing the main topic you want to approach, in alignment as a possible with the American Association team, because every single year had a different.
Wow. So as Anna was saying, is when you're writing a strong proposal, all of these criteria have to be met. So the one important area that she was kind of focusing on is aligning the theme when possible. So whenever we have like a conference every year, the AEA has a theme. So like the better your proposal sort of aligns with that theme, the better for you, the better the chances that you are getting selected. So that's also one thing that to consider. It's not necessarily like saying, oh, I'm going to do the same themes of them and get selected. No, because you have to meet all of the other criteria that she explained, and the theme is just one of the last steps kind of to explore. So how to write an effective abstract. So abstract for AEA, as she mentioned, is limited to 150 words. So your abstract should include the purpose of the session or the presentation, and state why it matters for evaluators, sort of defend your work, and highlight one or two key contributions. So, and match the selected session type. So it could be a panel presentation, could be a poster presentation, it could be all of the format, like one of the formats of the presentation, and you stay focused on what the participant will learn. So the idea of presenting in a conference is that you want your research to be put out there, that people can learn from it. And you also stay focused on what is the actual lesson or thing that people are going to learn from your like research. And it's always better to keep it direct and simple, because not everyone has the time to sort of like take the time to understand. So it's for you to make all of these adjustments before going to the conference. And writing the relevant statement. So relevant statement limit is 500 words. So the relevant statement basically just explain why your proposal sort of is important in the field. So why your topic is important, why does it connect with, like, does it really connect with the current practice that people, that evaluators do, and how AEA attendees would care and how it aligns with the theme that we previously discussed. So some of the tips for success that we can give is that use concrete examples. You use like real world thing, like example that can be verified, and avoid general statements. So a lot of people, when writing the relevant statement, usually sort of direct their writing towards like general or vague statement. This is not really going to help you much. And you have to also show the program, like the impact of your program, either on community or on any other level. So you can show evaluators, it can also show evaluators how this can be applied and what they can learn from it, as I emphasized before. So this section sort of very important, and I cannot stress this enough, is it strongly influences the decision whether you get accepted or denied. So this is one of the things to consider. Okay, so AEA has these 5 guiding principle and competencies. So the first one, they require every proposal to identify like relevant guideline principles, relevant AEA competence, choose them carefully. So the guiding principles are there to sort of guide you when you are writing your uh, research proposal. So you have, for example, here, systematic inquiry, competence, integrity, respect for people, common. So these are things that you should actually look at carefully and follow when you are trying to propose research for AEA. So these are like the simplest. We sort of like put it in a simple format, just the 5 guiding principles that you should remember. These are like some of the most important ones. So for audience level and additional requirement, AEA requires AEA does not really, AEA requires selecting an audience level. Oh, so when you're applying for the proposal, AEA will ask you, you select your audience level. So are you a beginner, first time attendee? Are you an intermediate, been attended before? Are you an advanced? And is it like relevant to all? And then you choose a level that reflects your content, honestly. So AEA ask for like willingness to offer like an alternative format. So for example, sometimes when they don't select your presentation for the format that you wanted, they sometimes propose other format. Maybe you can work in this format. So most of the time, they sometimes they reject you, but that rejection doesn't necessarily mean that you're rejected. So you get another chance of, for example, if you submit a paper that has to do with like a paper presentation, and then AEA judge that no, this could be like a poster format presentation, then you have to adapt your research back to like the poster presentation so that you can present. And then your willingness also sort of to mentor students to, like the membership status is very important also at AEA, because it's a professional organization and you get to like it has a lot of perks for you as a student, and it can give you a lot of access to seminars and webinars, and even beyond the conference, like after the conference. So IRB requirement. So IRB requirement for AEA kind of serves a different purpose. IRB is required at universities. This is mainly because it protects human subjects, and it requires when research will be published. It requires when you're writing your thesis or dissertation, and then it ensures confidentiality and safety of the participants. For AEA proposal submission, they did not require any IRB approval for the proposal, and the focus on ensuring the professional learning. So the session may use example from your evaluation practice. Reviewers evaluate clarity and relevance and usefulness. So just to kind of like sum it up, that IRB is necessary when you are doing research, but not necessarily when you're trying to present at AEA. So you have to keep also that point in mind. So this is when IRB is needed typically when you're doing data collection that involves human subject for research, when your finding will be published or reported, like in an academic journal or in a peer reviewed journal. So the project could be a part of a thesis or dissertation, as I mentioned. So the goal is to produce generalizable knowledge. Personal or identifiable data is always involved in this data collection. So even before undertaking the IRB, you need to send it to your participant. They need to accept, and this is very important, especially when you're doing research. So these are some of the tips for a successful proposal. So you start your proposal early. You don't wait the last minute to write your proposal. You use simple, active language, which is always helpful when it comes to the people that are reviewing your work to either be selected or not selected. So the more simple, clear, and the more active voice you use, the more it's better for people and easier for reviewers to understand your work or your research. So you also connect with the conference team, as we mentioned before. This is something that is coming over and over again. So sometimes people just don't know about this particular part of connecting with the conference theme. And you work with faculty and mentors. So as Anna mentioned, we have a lot of faculty and mentors here at the EMR department that are very, very helpful in terms of like when we try to apply for AEA, the guidance that we get and everything. So your work with your faculty actually does matter a lot. And then you select the take that best fits your topic. So this is you have, I think you can select up to 5, and then you share example that evaluators can use in their own work. So this is the part of the learning or the knowledge that you are transmitting from your research. So how people will benefit from this, how people will use it in their work. So that is something very important, and you need to stress that in your proposal. And hopefully, if all of these points are addressed in your proposal, it would be successful. So these are some of the tips for presenting at AEA. So depending on the sort of or the format of the presentation that you are going for. So if you are presenting, you need to practice your timing. So this means that, for example, if you have an Ignite presentation, that is like sort of like 5 minutes. So you need to be in tune with like what you want to say, because you only have 5 minutes or less, and the slides are going off automatically every 15 seconds. So it's sort of have this practice that, alignment with your work. So you know that when you go there, you just present it clearly and you focus on your visuals and understanding. So those can be addressed in the slide. And then you speak. The most important thing is a lot of people, when they are presenting, they tend to speak quickly and not slowly and clearly. So people might not even understand what you are saying. And especially for us international students, we have English is not our native language. So it's better to just take it slow and then speak clearly so people can understand you. And then you can share your practical lesson that you learn. And then you can invite the audience to interact with you after, but some of the format of the presentation will not allow questions or audience interaction until the end. And you also like be ready to answer any question that anyone might have. So the whole idea of you presenting in that in the AEA at the AEA, sorry. So it's sort of exposing people to your work. So you might answer a lot of questions, and you have to always be prepared to answer questions when you go to these evaluation conferences. So the resource for a student, there are a lot of resources, but the most important resource is first, you have to check the AEA website. You have to check the AEA 365 blog. You can find some helpful information in there from people past experiences. And then you can also go to past conference programs. And as we mentioned, faculty mentor is a key thing to consider. And in here, we have the EMR student community. So that is very helpful for us as well. So this is some of the pictures that we have taken at AEA. So as you can see, all of us here are almost from Western. And you see that Anna had a photo with this prominent evaluator, Michael Quinn Patton. So it was really great to learn from everything that has been done. And Michael here, as you can see, had also a workshop and some other presentation that he has presented. And as you can see here, Rahula, and we have also Abdurrahman. So all of us, we went, we presented, we participated, and we sort of also like very curious, and we learned a lot of things at this presentation. Honestly, something that I would really advise to people, even if you're not presenting, try to go there, try to find out what people are doing, attend the sessions, sort of participate, and it will actually add to your knowledge base. So it's very important. So this is all for our presentation today. And if you guys have any question, would be open to questions.
Yep. Albert asked if you could share a brief snippet or short summary of your presentation for AEA. What was your topic purpose and key takeaway?
Yeah, Anna can answer that one.
Hola. Okay, what is the question is a short summary the your presentation. Okay, in this specific year we present two different things. One was a poster, and the another was a very short presentation, 5 minutes. And the 5 minutes presentation was about the one community piano program. Actually, that, is the job I am working with the Dr. Miron. So the Dr. Miron was mentoring me, how to do the slides and everything, because it had to be attractive for the audience. It had to be very clear. Yeah, I had to speak slow because I am Mexican, I speak so faster. So, first I take all the recommendations to Dr. Miron, and then I create, the presentation. My presentation was about how really lessons we learn like evaluators from do that evaluation job. For example, I can to share, for example, we had to communicate with the clients. We had to do the data collection. We had to, how we dealing, with the data is like sometimes the instruments that are changed because this specific evaluation was done with collaboration with our clients. Is sometimes they edit the instrument, if they change a little question, and then, we had to mark this one and to clear, everything the most we can do it for do, is a very good report for them. So that's one of the experience to do that. I learned one thing, how to manage the timing is very important. The second thing is, I think some was like, I learned more like another college there was over there, college was over there in the same situation. In the last minute, there was, our practice, the slide in 5 minutes. One specific comment I get from one of our classmate was another person suffer a lot for timing because it's 5 minutes. Actually, he was in shock. It's like, you did that in 5 minutes, unbelievable, or you speak slowly, you did on timing and everything. It's like, yes, but I was, take all my recommendation from my advisor. That is why I did that way. The second thing that we want to share is we did the poster presentation. The poster presentation, we focus, in this specific context of the government, how, the executive order from, from the government now affecting to the evaluation field, we create a poster, if we create like a framework, how to adapt our evaluation job to the new requirements, to fill it out all the requirements for the regulation for the government. So in that moment, I told the Dr. Miron, is like, I feel very, very nervous because I international. I feel like, okay, I had to speak, but I had to speak, in the very a slow way and the very, appropriate way to my audience. We had a very good feedback. One of them, they asked me is, we will do publication about the topic. Yeah, I say to them, very honest way, that's the, theoric ideas, we're working together, our team, but still, we are trying, to see how my advisor will be the future for that topic. And the second thing is, the another thing is they say, okay, this is theoric. How about is you had the opportunity to apply this specific model to one organization and to do the evaluation? How can to look the evaluation report about, with this specific model? Yeah, I say, yes, we can try, but still, we had to recruitment the clients or to, and to see what is the better way to approach that. So I had, two things very good from the experience that in this year, because in the previous year we did another presentation, the same group together, Tahan, Ruhula, and me together, all the time we are working together. So this is specific is the, what exactly we did or think or the presentation. So I don't know if you had, is enough for you to hear that or no, Albert?
No, I'm glad. Thank you. It's quite inspiring. It's quite inspiring. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So I heard that Joshua was doing his Ignite session, and when he came into the room to sit down, he had plenty of time. But then, as it turned out, they called his name right away because some other people were on the schedule and did not attend. So what he described, you have to be really prepared for the Ignite session because it goes so fast. So he said he rushed up on the stage and he started to say his name and it was already on slide 2. So he was like, oh, so, but I think I understand he caught up, but that was quite a surprise for him to think that he had 15 or 20 minutes, and then he was told that they called his name and started showing his slides.
I mean, that specific year, I think so, Dr. Miron, there was a lot of presenter missing because, the travel, cancellation, flight and everything was very, shocking for everyone because actually, my presentation had to be at 3. If they start like, like 2:40, but it's like, but everyone with experience that in this specific year.
So how did yours go, Anna? Did you manage to have a conversation on each slide and keep up with the pace without speaking too quickly?
I know speak quickly. I had to speak slow because, I am international. All my professors say, Anna, speak slow, just to know you. All of them is like, speak slow, focus, in your specific idea you want to transmit. Yeah, I did away. No, but was amazing because everyone was, like rushed and very nervous. Yeah, I think so, MRR prepared me because, in that specific program here, we had to do presentation in all the class. So that is very helpful to me, just to know with my language, but feel confident when I deliver the information to another persons. Honestly, 5 minutes was first of all like, I cannot do it. When I practice, like, yes, I can do it. I can do it slowly and professional way. Yeah, I feel very happy because, the tool told me it's like, amazing, you did in 5 minutes, no rush, every single slide you got on timing. The another participant was struggling with the slide and with the timing. And me, no. For one specific reason, this time, no.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. Honestly, I love that.
So, Albert, I see your question is fine. So you said if you were to present the same topic again, what would you improve? Honestly, we would improve quite a bit because we got a lot of feedback from like evaluators and other researchers, I would say, to point out like, oh, this is the model, this is really good, but it would be helpful. So we noted down everything that was given to us as feedback. And I think if we had to do this again with the same topic, I think would include all of these feedbacks because they are very constructive like feedback. So it was really interesting to sort of see that people are interested, but people are also sort of like keeping in mind that how this will be applied in actual practicality. Because sometimes theory may not be, like in theory you might write something, but in practice it might be different. So people with experience, people who have gone through this and people who are doing this on basically like on an everyday basis can give you these very, very helpful feedback. So it's important for us to consider all of these things if we had to do it again.
And also the other experience that I had during the conference was that it's not necessarily all who attend are from academia, because I got to meet so many people who were just experts in the field, and then they were like working at different consultancies, and they were all consultants from different companies and different organizations. And that was also, one of the highlights of the conference for me personally, because that is something you create a network of people probably outside the academia who are in the field and working in different projects or different programs. Because me personally working at different organizations, a part of the grant writing has always been a challenge of finding external evaluators or consultants who could partner with us on the grant that we are writing, and that would work with us on a basis of if we secure the grant, then you'll do the evaluation for our work, but we cannot pay you anything up front because we haven't yet secured the grant. And making all those connections would definitely help us a lot in the job market. So that was our highlight of the conference for me personally.
That's right. Yeah, we know, Rujula, you like a lot of networking. We know that. Yeah.
All right. Well, we are just about at time. So I just want to thank you all. This was a really engaging presentation, and I'm glad we're recording it so that we can put it up. I think this will be helpful to many students who are interested in going to AEA or really any kind of conference, although there are some particularities, I think, that like might be done at AEA that aren't done at other places. It's still very helpful, and people don't always know where to go to get the information. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Regina, for inviting us. I'm so sorry again for the technology here. It's a crazy day, but that's
Nobody's fault.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
All, yeah, for attending. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so inspired. Thank